Walhingford back again, and I have another watch video for you. And I've been watching a couple of my fellow watch YouTubers, and one of their subject matters, especially with Johnny Casual, is collecting philosophy, your philosophy with collecting watches. And I want to tell you about my watch collecting philosophy and what I do when I decide upon a watch. Okay? Number one, the first thing you have to understand, the bottom line to understand is quality can be expensive. It absolutely can be expensive, and you get what you pay for. It's oftentimes you try to save money and then you are left stuck or feeling that something didn't get completely fulfilled, it wasn't complete, and everything along those lines. You feel, what did I just do? And then you end up having to go back and get another something, whether that product is, or you end up getting the more expensive product down the line. So quality can be expensive, and with me in watch collecting, you might want to ask, where do I start? Where do I start? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is $500. You do not have a quality watch if that watch didn't retail for $500. All right? From going up, that will be the basics. Now that is watch collecting. Now if you're buying yourself a beater watch to wear to work, you're buying a beater watch to go fishing in, camping in, no, you don't really have to live by those standards. But if you're looking for a nice, good quality watch, most of the time $500 should be the beginning, the absolute beginning for a nice quality watch. Now that will segue into my next subject of philosophy on what I do when I buy watches, and what choices I make when I purchase a watch. $500 is the retail price. That's what I'm referring to. There are plenty of watches that I have that are great watches that didn't cost me $500. No. So the bottom line is, you never pay retail. You always search for a discount. Always ask for a discount. Always look for the means to save money. Always save money. Never pay the retail price for it. As many things that I've done in this world, not just with watches, everything else, do not pay the original asking price. You never do that. When you buy cars, when you go on vacation, when you buy a house, anything along those lines, you never pay retail. Same thing with watches. You always have to get a discount, or you look for a means, meaning maybe you get a pre-owned watch. All right? You look for a means to save that money. Get the high quality one, the high quality version. You get the absolute best watch you can. You maybe have to buy a pre-owned Omega, which is nothing wrong with that, but don't pay retail. Next thing, number 3 or 3.5, because I add a little bit more to this, is knowing what you're purchasing, knowing what is absolute high quality. Why does a certain watch cost as much as it costs? So, for an example, you look at your Omegas, you look at your Rolexes, your Breitners, and so on and so forth. Look at those watches. Research those watches. What makes those watches so expensive? Then you go on and look at the other smaller brands or lesser known brands and see how they stack up with the actual pieces of quality, of construction, of, we're talking watches, the level of horology, what they offer as far as the inner workings, the metals they use, the hands and the dials and the materials that's being used in those watches. And don't be afraid, see, this is the half part, don't be afraid to check into those lesser known brands. Brand right here, Moulay Glass Houter. My Moulay Glass Houter is a absolute quality watch. It didn't cost me an arm and a leg, but it's along the same lines. And people will argue with me or what have you. It's the same line as a Tudor or a Breitling or even Omega. It's along the same lines of quality. But I did my research and found out what those watches do and why those watches are so expensive. And then you see what else is out there, and I found Müller Glass Hütte. Now this video is not about Müller Glass Hütte. This video is about my philosophy in watch collecting. I love those mainstream big brands. I do. I really do. Though I all the time try to find ways to not buy a Rolex. Rolex is Rolex. I have to admit it. Rolex is Rolex. One of the tops. They are the standard. But there are means, there are ways to not spend so much money on a quality watch and still have a quality watch. Now, if you put all those things together, you know that you're going to have to spend some money. You know that you're not going to pay retail, and you know that you need to do your absolute research and finding out about that particular watch or anything you do. Because I don't pay retail for anything I have, and I have a lot of high quality items in my life and in my household and things like that. So that's a little bit about my philosophy in watch collecting. I have a little bit more, but I'll talk about that on another video. This is Charles Walhingford. I always ask the question, how would you spend your money? This is how I spent my money.